Great. So I think we're recording. Welcome. So first class back for the year. So really nice to be joining together again. It's probably been about 8-10 weeks since our last class together. So yeah, really lovely to get stuck back into the new year. A little bit of sort of housekeeping. I haven't put my mat out today, and that was a deliberate choice. There'll be a couple of practices where you it will be helpful for you to be able to slide your legs on the floor. So if you're using a mat, then perhaps just use your upper body on the mat and have your legs on the floor, especially if you're on carpet. If you're on wooden floor, you might prefer to have some socks on and just use your mat. So find what works for you. And then I've suggested gathering a couple of blankets for your final rest. We won't use them until then. Well, I've said a couple of cushions. So we're going to use one perhaps to sit on, and then either a cushion or one of those blankets to support the legs. And there's an invitation to do a meditation today, probably about 10 minutes. So if you're more comfortable sitting in a chair for that, then please have a chair there. It could be your sofa or it could be a dining room chair. So this month of March, I'm going to incorporate a meditation each week, probably around 10 minutes. I'll try and stick to around 10 minutes. Might be easing towards 15, but around 10 minutes, where I'll do a separate recording, and that will also be sent to you. And the thinking around this is that then you have this new meditation each week, a nice bite-sized 10 minutes or so that you can revisit. So as I'm talking, perhaps you could just feel into how you're feeling about that. If you're feeling, oh, that excites me, I'd like a bit more of that in my life, then also consider how much you might like to do this. So I'm just coming towards the end of a 60-day commitment. I'm doing an online course with my meditation teacher, and you might remember I did the same last year. It's not just meditation, but that's a core element of it. And I mean, I'm at a point in my life where I'm committing to a daily practice anyway, which took me a while to find, but that is like cleaning my teeth in the morning now. And that might be too much for you to commit to a daily 10-minute meditation, or that might feel something that you'd really like to just do and commit to. Or it might be more of a 2 days a week thing or a 3 days a week thing. So just consider as I'm talking what you feel your time commitment could be for it, and make that resolve. We'll do a little bit more of that later. But as soon as you start making that resolve to yourself, and we might check in about that at the end of the class, then it solidifies that intention. Good. So a little menu for the day. I thought we'd just stand briefly just to transition from our morning so far into our practice. And then I'll lead you through the week's meditation. And then we'll come and lie down and do most of our practice down on the ground. I know this is a busy time for a lot of you, and we're still in that sort of summer fuzzy mode, and there's also a lot of just turmoil as we're living more with COVID. So floor practice, and then a very brief seated posture before a nice solid relaxation at the end. So remember, just tap into what feels right for you today and leave anything out that doesn't. This is your practice. I'm just giving you suggestions. So if you'd like to, come and stand up. And this will be brief. And I'd like you just to find movement or stillness to suit you today. So it doesn't really matter that you can't see all of me. I'm just going to start to stand in a mountain posture, so feet comfortable distance apart, spine elongated, Weight moving down through the legs, into the feet, into the heels. Getting a sense of your skeleton supporting your form. And you could just start down in the feet. And I'm just going to give some examples, but just a way of moving and connecting into your body that feels lubricating, warming, and even not so much as a warm-up, more as a connecting in to your body, how it feels today. So I'm going feet and knees and hips, and you can just find a movement, an organic, personal movement that feels somewhere that you're being drawn to. Might come into the shoulders. I really just love this spiral movement. This is something I do every morning. I get up just to get the body moving and to feel, how is my body today? How's my body this morning? Come into your arms, lengthening out through the nerves, muscles. So just a minute or so of organic movement. Don't worry about what it looks like. You're in your own space anyway. And maybe into the neck, more movements into the neck. It can be a really wonderful experience to just allow the body to move how it wants to move without planning or thinking or analysing. Play around with your eyes open or eyes closed. Maybe there's some reaching up or reaching out to the sides. Maybe there's a little bit of shaking out even. And then just come and stand. Stand. Just see this as your transition out of your doing, your chores, your jobs, into your practice today. Feeling your feet on the ground, the support of your legs, pelvis, hovering over the legs. And then mindfully transition into your seated shape. And I'm going to sit on the floor today, but you might prefer to be in a chair. I really encourage you to find a comfortable place to be. And if you need support for the arms or the elbows, then do put a blanket or a pillow on top of that. You've got that support if you need it. And resting your hands in your lap or on your thighs. Once you've found a comfortable seated posture for your meditation today, you might like to gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. And perhaps just very subtly dropping your chin a minute amount to lengthen the back of your neck. And as we begin our meditation today, check in with your posture. If you're sitting upright without the back of a chair, checking that your spine is nice and elongated. If you are using the back of the chair, try to shunt your pelvis right to the back, so that you're keeping as much natural curvature to your spine as possible. And just arrive. You might like to take 2 or 3 longer exhales, maybe even out of your mouth. Sigh-like exhale, releasing tension around the chest and shoulders. Releasing tension in the belly. Arriving in this body shape. And as you are arriving, as you're bringing your attention within your physical shape, taking a snapshot, an overview of how am I today? How am I in this moment? You feel settled within your physical form. You feel unsettled. And trying to move away from analyzing or labeling even, and just be with the felt quality of your experience here. Felt quality. What is presenting itself to you today? And just taking note, leaving it to do what it will through this practice. So, asking yourself, why are you here today? What brings you to this meditation? Are there qualities that you would like to cultivate in these next few minutes? Quietness, stillness. And no need to go fishing for an answer. Just allow anything to naturally bubble up. What do I need for my practice today? And as we move further into our meditation practice, I'd like you to make a resolve to stay present throughout these next few minutes, making this time count. Very easy for the mind to just whirl off into its own momentum. Staying gently but resolvedly focused. And can you sense into the support holding your body, the ground, the cushion, the chair, and feel out into the edges of your physical form as they touch those supports. So an inner sense of that support. And there'll be an attitude of yielding into that support. As you allow the physical stability and structure of your body, your skeletal body, to emerge into your awareness. So that your physical presence, your physical shape is becoming louder, more prominent in your awareness. Feel it, feel your skeleton, feel the bones of your body, creating the structural shape. And as you concentrate all of your awareness into your physical shape, getting a sense of the energy, the attention sinking downwards, sinking down towards pelvis and the legs and the floor. As if the lower part of your body had more weight to it than the upper part. Feeling the weight in your abdomen and pelvic bowl, your legs, your feet, As you feel into the weight of them, feel the outline. Notice how I'm saying feel and sense rather than think or imagine. Really connecting into your physical presence here. Stay connected to this felt sense. As you yourself a few minutes just to rest in quiet. You notice tension or gripping in the mind as you concentrate. Try to just let that slide back and down. You might imagine a little snow globe. You shake it all up. Everything's moving around, swirling around. And as you place it down on the countertop, everything sinks. All the little particles of snow sink downwards, settling towards a state of stillness. Same here, letting those particles of awareness to sink down into your lower body. Let go of any gripping qualities. You soften and sink into your own physical form. How long can you stay connected to that physical sense? Feeling its unmoving, quiet presence. Felt quality of your body in this shape. Mind doesn't need to analyze. Allow it to rest here. Sense of everything sinking down. Leaving sense of lightness, of quietness in the upper body and head. And just checking that there hasn't been any unnecessary tension creeping into areas of the body like the neck, jaw, the hands. Maybe taking a couple more of those sigh-like exhales. Feeling into your whole physical form again. Coming all the way up to the top of the head and the tips of your toes. Your arms hanging loosely from the shoulder sockets. The legs weighted, stable. And taking some longer breaths if you'd like. Squeezing the fingers, little fists, stretching the fingers out. Dropping the chin towards the chest and blinking the eyes open gradually. And as you emerge from your meditation today, just taking another snapshot, how you're feeling. Sometimes it doesn't go that we feel better than we started, and that's okay. Know that you've taken this time out to build the skill of quietening, and that can take time and practice. I'm going to invite you to come and lie down on your back. Take your time. And bring with you something I forgot to mention at the start was the need for a strap or a scarf today. Could be anything in that kind of realm. And bring that with you as you come and lie down onto your back, preferably with your legs either on a slidey surface from your thighs down to your feet, or having socks on your mat. You may like to bring a cushion or a blanket underneath your head. Nothing too high though. You want your chin to stay the level of your forehead. And come into constructive rest. So your feet on the floor and your knees are bent. Coming into the most easeful bent knee position you can find. And you might like to just place your hands on your lower torso or rest your arms down by your side. Closing your eyes if that feels comfortable. And just tuning in here. Noticing your breathing body. Natural coming and going of your breath. Might even take a few rounds of breath out of the mouth, in with the mouth, to invoke a very natural, uncontrolled pattern. Breathing from the nostrils again when you're ready. And starting to breathe down into your diaphragm. Not forcing the breath in any way, just a gentle intention to breathe down into the diaphragm and towards the abdomen. Sigh with your exhale as much as you need to. You can stay with your natural breath here for as long as you'd like, or you could start to extend your breath, deepen your breath, not to the point of strain, just a subtle extension so that there is a slowing down of the breath. Relaxing the abdominal wall, relaxing the inner groin, the legs as much as possible. So there's a sense that with each breath there is a softening. And then resting your arms down by your side if they're not already, and reaching up with the arms just over the head if that's comfortable, or out to the side if over the head isn't comfortable. You might like to reach the heels away as you lengthen the tail towards the heels. Just take a bit of a lengthen out, stretch out. You might go alternative arm and leg. Be reaching out to the sides rather than up or in a diagonal. Expanding into the space around you, reaching into the space around you, and then resting your arms in a position that feels comfortable. So that might be like a constructive cactus, that might be arms out to the side. And if you'd like to here, just turning the head a couple of times, side to side, bringing the weight of the skull. It might be a different head movement that you feel drawn to doing. It might be some more sort of figure of 8 movement, or lifting the chin, dropping the chin. And then finding neutral, finding the center for your head. Drawing both feet back to the floor. And then drawing both knees in towards your body. And you can either take the hands onto the front of the knees if that doesn't feel like too far, or you could take your strap or your scarf and just wrap the scarf around the lower knee or the shins. Just a gentle explore of the thighs, drawing in towards the belly without straining or forcing. And maybe just taking the legs away just ever so slightly, just to create some space for the abdomen. Let's try that a couple more times. Even if your hands do reach your knees, it can be quite interesting to try bending your arms slightly with your scarf. Feet just dangling, nice relaxed feet. I'm going to explore a little sequence to bring some self-care, nutritious sequence for the ankle and the knee and the hips. Let's place the left foot down onto the floor in a comfortable place, and taking the scarf over the right thigh, the right shin, and then starting to extend the heel up towards the ceiling and take the scarf behind the thigh. So we're going to keep the knee nice and bent, coming into a comfortable place for your thigh. You can also hold on with your hands if you'd rather, but relaxing the shoulder blades into the floor. And just taking a look at your right toes, starting to scrunch your toes, bent knee, and then open and spread and lengthen your toes. Scrunching your toes, and then open, lengthen, spread the toes. And then just try the same movement with the eyes closed. And just noticing how that feels. Noticing if you get a greater sense of the feeling with the eyes closed or with the eyes open. And then coming to flex the foot completely. So reaching the heel up towards the ceiling. Knee is nice and bent. So we're not stretching into the hamstrings here or the back of the leg, just moving and articulating through the ankle. And then reaching the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling. Flexing and moving in towards a pointed foot position. Flexion and extension. And try with your eyes open, with your eyes closed, noticing the difference of feeling and concentration. And then circling the ankle, circling the foot, keeping the thigh and the shin still. So I went over on my ankle a couple of weekends ago, so I really noticed that there's a change of range of movement for me, but that movement is still really good. So find your own comfortable range of movement and try to move the ankle in that whole range of movement, even if it's slightly restricted. You might notice that there is a little tiring after a few circles. I definitely noticed that. The muscles around the ankles working to find that full range. Nice. You might just like to have a little shake out after that. So from here, I'm just going to take my thigh so that it's right angle to the floor and dangle my heel towards the ground. Hopefully you can see that behind my left leg. So the thigh is at a right angle and the right heel is dropping towards the floor. This time, just straightening and bending the knee, using the thigh, working the knee here. And we don't need to come into a full straight position if the backs of the legs drain here. That's the direction we're moving in. A little bit of activation through the right foot so that it's staying in line with the ankle, but it doesn't need to be really active. The work here happening in the right knee. Feel that movement in the right knee. You might like to close your eyes for a couple of rounds so you can really tune in to the felt workings of this extension and flexion in the knee joint. Good, and maybe one more, noticing the muscles that are having to work here at this right angle position. And then relaxing the legs, keeping the strap nearby. And we're going to place the right foot next to the left, just slightly wider than hip distance apart. I'm just going to turn to face you for this one. And we're not doing a windscreen wiper leg here. We're opening the right knee to externally rotate the thigh. And then we're just drawing the right knee in the direction of the left leg. So we're not dropping everything to the left side. We're just taking the right knee in the direction of the left leg, internally rotating the thigh. There will be some movement through the pelvis, but the majority of the movement is happening in the right hip joint. Opening, closing. Feeling that rotation happening in the right hip joint, and of course moving at your own comfortable range. One or two more here. And then from here, taking the foot back off the floor again, letting the heel dangle to the ground or in that direction, and circling the right hip one direction. I'm not going to use my hand for this. You could use your strap or your hand if you need to. Circling in as big a circle as feels comfortable. Feeling that rotation happening in the joint and changing to the direction when you're ready. Relaxed right foot hovers above the ground. And when you're finished, sliding both legs away from you and just coming into a relaxed Shavasana. The lower back is pinching or feels strained, then you can keep the knees bent slightly, or you can lift the bottom and lengthen the tail towards the floor. You might just like to wiggle the feet like windscreen wipers towards one another and away from one another, just to relax the thighs and the belly. Nice, and then just be still, relax, just rest. And noticing what you're noticing in the hip joints, down through the length of the legs, into your feet. Feel from awareness. Allow the sensation and feeling to emerge into your field of awareness. And then slowly making your way up to the left side, bending both knees. Drawing the left thigh in towards the body. You can take the strap over the shin. And then as you extend the left foot up towards the ceiling, taking the strap or the hands behind the left thigh, keep the knee nice and bent. The leg is not moving towards a stretch here. Squeezing the left toes, spreading, widening the toes. And you can take a little look at how this amazing piece of kit works as you squeeze the toes, lengthen, spread, and then closing the eyes. How does this movement feel internally with the felt quality? Flexing the left foot, and then reaching the ball of the foot towards the ceiling, pointing foot, flexing, and noticing that it's not just your foot and ankle involved in this movement. There's other things playing part. Noticing where those are. Shoulders relaxed, face relaxed, full awareness into left lower leg, ankle and foot. And starting to circle at a nice slow pace. I notice that this ankle has a lot more range of movement. You might notice a difference in your sides too. Maybe there's some cracking or clunking, making sure that you're moving in ease and not strain or pain. And you can change direction. You might feel a sort of a working ache occurring through the ankle joint. This isn't a movement that we tend to do very much functionally. Maybe a little shake out. Taking right angle with your thigh, so the knee is directly over your hip joint. The foot is nice and relaxed. And just starting to straighten the leg as the knee extends. It doesn't have to come all the way to straight. As you bend the knee, let the heel relax towards the floor. It's a nice controlled, slow, deliberate knee focus. Using your thigh muscle to lift the leg, lift the foot. How controlled and smooth can you make the movement? Feeling the lower leg moving through space, your knee articulates. How does this movement feel in your left knee today? One more, if you'd like. And then releasing your scarf. You won't need it again. Placing the left foot back down, widen the hip distance, and then opening the left knee. And then taking the left knee across towards the floor on the right side. Different to windscreen wiper legs, we're just focusing on the movement in the left hip, left thigh, moving into internal rotation. The pelvis will move. There'll be some shifting of weight over to the right side. Externally rotating the hip. Make the movement nice and smooth, easeful for that hip joint. And then drawing the knee towards you again, letting the heel relax. and moving into circles of the hip joint. Just like the ankle joint, finding your own individual comfortable range of movement. The circles might be a lot smaller today. That might just be where your energy level is this morning. Change direction when you're ready. And when you finish, sliding both feet down away from you. Might just stretch and lengthen a couple of times before finding stillness. And just noticing what you notice. Lower body feel a little more awake, alive, energized. The legs feel heavy or light. Do they feel balanced? Both the same, or do they feel a little different? Tune in. And just taking a little waggle, waggle of the feet, toes, just letting the thighs relax, the belly relax. Good. So from here, I wonder how I show this to you. I think I'll just try from where I am, but maybe just come on a slight diagonal. So bending your right knee, having your right foot on the floor. You can have a little wiggle around as to what feels comfortable there, but the left leg is just lengthened and relaxed. And taking the arms away from the body just slightly, enough to have a bit of room to rotate. And as you press down with your right foot, allowing your right hip to float away from the floor and move towards a rotating spine, a spiraled spine, and release. So there's a gentle pressing down through the right foot. The knee is planning to move to stay pointing up towards the ceiling. It might move a little bit, might move over towards that left side a little bit, but it's not dropping down, still staying in the direction of the ceiling. And you can just continue playing around with that movement if you'd like. Take it a little smaller if the lower back's feeling sensitive today. And something you can play around with here is, as you press down with the right foot, looking over towards your right hand, and you might even lift the right arm a little bit, and then lower. Shift slightly so we've got a bit more room. As you lift, as you press and float the right hip, the right arm lifts, and you look in that right direction. You're getting a length down that whole right side body. So if it doesn't feel comfortable to lift the arm on that diagonal like I'm doing here, you might lower the arm a little bit more out to the side. You see that? Or come that way. The arm can be wherever feels most comfortable, but the head is looking in that direction to the right. And you could even play with this. It can be a nice playful movement. You can even reach the arm over the head as if you're reaching over the head for something, moving onto the side body and then drawing back. This may not be suitable for you today, and that's the case, and keep playing in that earlier version. And just allow your body to take you where it wants to take you. And coming back to either both knees bent or both legs straight. And this time, bending the left knee, having the left foot on the floor. And starting to press down with the left foot. The arms are a little away from the body to begin with. And just allow that natural rotation to occur through the spine. And the knee may move off center, that's fine, but don't let it drop. Definitely reaching away. And look towards the left side. Getting that lovely spiral through the spine. Nice weighty left foot. Weighty left leg. And just play with this movement. The arm might extend up over the head, it might not, it might stay out to the side as you look in that direction. Use your breath. That reaching up through the left arm might even roll you onto your right side, maybe. Maybe not. Please practice at your own comfort level today. Might feel more comfortable just staying on the back. And coming to rest. Both knees bent, feet on the floor or legs extended away. Arms resting down by your side. Back skin melting down to the floor. Just be present with any arising sensation, any vibration or buzzing, energy. You notice after those movements. So there is an invitation to slowly make your way off of the floor for one seated posture today. If you're on the ground and that feels just where you need to be, then stay there, please. But if you'd like to, then bringing both of your cushions or a cushion and a blanket and sitting on the cushion. And if you have a wall there, you could even bring yourself up to sit against a wall. And I'm not going to mirror you, so I'm going to extend my left leg out in front of me and bend my right knee. And you may like to put something underneath the right thigh or a cushion as high as you'd like it to go. And that foot, I'm going to adjust the pillow I'm sitting on, it's a bit wonky. So that bent knee foot can be as high or as low down that left thigh as feels comfortable. But what I'd really like you to focus on is sitting right on top of your sit bones or even forward slightly on your sit bones. So have a little roll around there for you, a sense of what I mean. The back of your sit bones will mean that your lower back is curving or is flexing out of its natural flexed position. So we want that natural inward curvature of the lower back as we sit upright. And this might be enough for you today. You might just be sitting upright and starting to feel some sensations down the back of the left leg and be there, just be here. You might like to just very slowly crawl the fingers forwards and just pause at a point that feels enough for you today. So the spine is elongated rather than really rounded and flexed. So we're trying to keep a long spine here. I'm flexing my left foot quite a lot to keep my left leg stable. You might go a little bit more relaxed with the foot if you're feeling that it's too strong in the calf. But keep some activation through the left foot so that you can create a nice stable base. Feeling that stable base beneath you. Maybe closing the eyes for a couple of breaths here. Drop the chin slightly to lengthen the back of the neck. Deepening the breath if that feels appropriate. You breathe down into your diaphragm. And slowly cooling your way up when you're ready. Swapping sides. Using the support underneath the left knee this time if you'd like to. Sitting up on top of those sit bones. Maybe staying here. Maybe taking a little crawl with the fingertips. And pausing, dropping the chin slightly. The intention is to keep the spine fairly elongated. Lower back may move out of its natural curve slightly. Moving towards the front of the sit bones here. Little activation through the right leg. Ground down through the backs of your legs. Moving the breath. And bringing yourself back up nice and slowly. Good. So anything else that you'd like to do here before coming back onto the ground? So you might like to put a layer on. You might have sun streaming through your window, or it might be a bit cooler. So make sure you're nice and warm. I'll suggest doing one more thing before we come into full Shavasana, but bring anything with you that you might need. And as you lie yourself down, if you're going to have your head on something, then have it nice and low. There's an invitation here to bring the heels underneath the knees, feet hip distance apart. And just very gently starting to peel pelvis and the spine away from the floor. Being careful not to crunch your neck. If you feel like your head support is creating that, then remove it. It really doesn't matter how high you come in your moving bridge. You just sense and feel into what is appropriate today. One or two more just to bring the spine into extension. And anything else that you'd like to do here before coming into rest. So it might be nice to draw the knees back in towards the body again, like you did at the beginning. Or any other movements that you would like to visit before setting yourself up into Shavasana. All right, so getting yourself nice and settled in your Shavasana. And if you've been there for a minute or so already, then you may have felt into that and decided you need something added, like an extra blanket or cushion or support somewhere in your body. Sometimes it's not appropriate to lie on your back. You'll be receiving messages about that. So if it's not, then try something else. Try lying on your side or with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Arriving here on the ground, in your body. And having now been through a practice, being moved into some stillness and some movement, what is it that you need out of your Shavasana today? And as I ask that question, it might not be just this Shavasana, it might be this Shavasana right now, this rest right now, but it might actually be a bigger intention. What do you need in your life right now? And that might be connected to what arose and bubbled up in your meditation inquiry. Might be something completely brand new. It could be that you need or wish for contentment, or perhaps complete rest, just surrendered rest. Sometimes we need gentle acceptance, resilience. Maybe it's joy and vitality. So perhaps opening a little broader than just this Shavasana and feeling into your intention of your year of practice. So we're first class back. And just with interest, exploring what happens when you trust that you have set something in motion. You've set a process in motion, and just surrendering now, letting that go, trusting that process. And as you settle into your quiet rest, might you let that part of your mind go that likes to attend to or analyze or look into your experience? Could you try and just let that part of the mind rest, even sleep? So that you can allow this rest to be uninfluenced and uncontrolled. And actually just going to let you rest in silence for a few minutes so that you can be completely undisturbed. And there might be noises happening within your space or outside. Connecting into the quiet quality that just rests just outside of your physical form. Place of stillness that you're resting within. And as I leave you for a few minutes to rest within your own quiet place, trusting in that process of unraveling, settling, knowing that sometimes this doesn't happen straight away, so we need an attitude of patience and compassion. bit like that snow globe that's been shooken up. And as you lay that down on a surface, all the particles of snow slowly gather and settle onto the surface. Trusting in that process of settling here as you leave your experience alone. Just rest. The mind begins to disturb you. Try to just patiently, gently draw your attention away from the movement of the mind and back into your physical form as it rests and settles here. Quality of sinking, settling. Becoming gently aware of your breathing body. Not tampering with the experience whatsoever, just allowing it to appear and dissolve. Each breath. Feel out into the edges of your physical shape and feel the ground supporting you. What is the quality of that support? And just gently starting to squeeze the fingertips in towards palms. Lengthen the fingers away from the palms. Squeeze the toes. Lengthen the toes. Just any gentle, natural movements. Reintroducing them back into your body again. And of course, if you need longer in rest, then I encourage you just to turn this off and stay resting as long as you need. And if you're ready to transition back out into your day, then very slowly transitioning, you might like to come and lie on your side for a few breaths. I recommend finishing your practice in a seated shape on the floor or in your chair. And taking that shape, I like to just bring the hands together in front of your heart. Again, just reflecting on that meditation we started with. And if it's something that you would like to carry out with you into the rest of your week, just reflecting or reviewing yourself right now of your time availability. How many times would you like to commit to that practice, that 10-minute meditation? Would you commit to doing it twice, perhaps, before next Wednesday, or maybe 3, maybe even 4 times? Set a resolve, achievable resolve, if you'd like to. And then with that resolve, you might like to just welcome back your intention for your practice. Might have been more than one. Some qualities that you wish to cultivate over the next coming weeks of your practice. Ease, calmness, gentle acceptance, feeling of wholeness. Whatever it is, just solidifying it here. And namaste. So, intention setting is a profound practice. I've been really humbled by it over the years of exploring it myself, and I really encourage you to do the same. It can feel a bit like a self-focused act, and I'd really just love this transition out of that mentality that this inward practice and these intentions are actually they're world work. They are not only for us to feel at ease and to feel that we've got purpose and direction, but also, you know, the more at ease and the more comfortable we are moment to moment, the more we can be helpful and supportive to others. Great. So I'll leave you there. Just finish the recording.